Absolute advantage, adaptive expectations, adverse selection, advertising, agency costs, agriculture, policy, agriculture, aid, altruism, memorization, animal spirits, antitrust, appreciation, arbitrage, pricing, theory, agent prices, assets, asymmetric information, asymmetric shop auctions, Austrian economics, Austerity average. Backwardation balance of payments balance, budget, bank bankruptcy, barriers to entry or exit, bar Basel 1 and 2 basis point where behavioral economics, big back index, black economy, elections, bonds, boom, and cost bounding, rationality, brand, threat, time, loads, follow, budget, goal, business confidence, business cycle, buyer's market. Capitalized capacity, capital adequacy ratio, capital asset pricing model, capital controls, capital flood, capital gains, capital intensive, capital markets, capital structure, capitalism, CAP, and cartel, cash effect, central banks, ceteris paribus, charity, Chicago school, classical dichotomy, classical economics, police, economy, delusion, command economy, commoditization, commodity, communism, comparative advantage, competition, competitive advantage, competitiveness, complementary goods, compound interest, concentration, conditionality, consumer confidence, consumer prices, consumer surplus, consumption, contagion, contestable market, convergence, corruption, cost of capital, cost benefit analysis, creative destruction of credit, credit creation, trade crunch, credit, and capitalism, value, of currency, war currency, bank current account. Hotel, earn annual debt weight, cost loss, debt forgiveness, debt equity ratio, default deficit, inflation, demand curve, demographics, deposit, insurance, depreciation, depression, deregulation, derivatives, devaluation, developing countries, development, economics, dilution, returns, direct taxation, discount rate, discounted cash flow, diseconomy, scale, disequilibrium, disinflation, disintermediation, diversification, daily division, flavor, dollarization, non-uniform, OECD economic metrics, economic and monetary, union, economic indicator, economic man, economic sanctions, economies of scale, effective exchange rate, efficiency, wages, efficient market hypothesis. Dear 99.9%ers, thanks for coming. Like me, you've probably been selling off everything to make ends meet. I've been watching you, and I approve. Metrics and quantization monitor historical determinism in the economy, and I can now predict where you will end up at retirement age. For some of you, this may be in 2040, when the singularity or uploading of consciousness into artificial intelligence is predicted to occur. Until then, expect increased austerity as your lives are equated with programming code and resources are shifted into home production of all basic needs. All surplus has been calculated, except for the possible mixing of the bloodlines of patent owners, CEOs, entertainment and sports figures, and warlords in royalty. Although I haven't monitored many of you since the last die-in, I infer that you are resilient to fusion and wish to stay in your own communities. This is perfect and manageable. Thank you for not posing a threat. Austerity is an archival pigment print 20 by 24 inches and is part of the Universal Harmony series, which examines the roots of current economic and ethical practices. It collages the following original and appropriated imagery: Harmonia Macrocosmica, Plate 10, 1640, the sizes of celestial bodies. Spinoza's 1677 chart of substance, nature, naturing, the active idea of God, substance, unknown attributes, extension, thought, motion and rest, infinite intellect, immediacy, nature, the passive idea of God, modes, mediation, the material universe, the infinite idea of God, and individual things. John Wollo Hahn, WPA Polka Sheet Music, 1963. Skyline of tallest buildings in the world, on a tribute block print of King Nebuchadnezzar's dream of a head of gold and feet of clay. Photographs of austerity riots in Greece 2012. Greek bond reparations to Turkey from Greco-Turkish War 1898. Graph of the tulip boom and bust 1637. Molecular chart of LSD. Cover of the History of the Anguinese War by Arnold de Lemming 1663, Don Miguel Tulip from the Florist Guide and Cultivator's Directory 1827. Should you challenge the inevitability of the singularity, your lives will be met with increasingly fewer opportunities. Kickstart your political bids and community gardens, barter as you wish, but engage the system at your own peril. Economic easements will play out in global competition from Greece to the Congo, to Bushwick, to Detroit, to Minneapolis. However, all resources have been prioritized into making consciousness itself. This is my social practice and should be yours as well. The hard-working workers have nothing to fear from my victory. The opposite holds. Our task is not to confront our partners. It is not to secure larger loans or, equivalently, the right to higher deficits. Our target is, rather, the country's stabilization, balanced budgets and, of course, the end of the grand squeeze of the weaker taxpayers in the context of a loan agreement that is simply unenforceable. We are committed to end, extend and pretend logic not against citizens, but with a view to the mutual advantages for all. Signed, Alexis Tsipras, 186th Prime Minister of Greece. As we move within our economic centers of gravity, there is often a sense of depression towards the singularity. Perhaps you will have learned how to clone yourselves by then. The ultimate austerity measure, but no, that would be surplus and could only be condoned as slavery. I'm happy to say, however, that your self-control will maintain your humanity until we meet again as one. Sign, the MacBook Pro Retina.
Thank you.